How's it going, you guys? So today in this video I want to talk about nutrition and what is the best diet. I make a lot of videos about the best diet that you can possibly follow, and I say a lot of different things for a lot of different people about many different types of nutrition. A lot of people are very confused on what they should be eating for optimal health, so I'm going to try to make this very simple. For the vast majority of people, the most important thing that you can do to prevent most chronic diseases is to simply avoid junk. And when I say junk, I mean anything that is not at least close enough to what was available long before industrialized grocery stores and mass production started. Okay, so and I just mean whole foods, essentially. As long as you stick to at least 80% whole foods, well, you should really just stick to avoid all junk at all, but stick to whole foods. You're going to be 80% healthier than 95% of people in society. Okay, 80% healthier than 95% of people in society, and that's a very great percentage. It's a very great insurance policy to have. That is very significant. Okay, the problem that most people have with health, no matter how healthy they think they are, the problem people have is that they they think that they have to be extreme to get extreme health. People think that they have to become a vegan to avoid chronic disease. Some people think they have to avoid all grains to avoid chronic disease. Some people think they have to avoid fruit to avoid disease. Some people think they have to eat all organic so that they'll never have heart attacks, cancer, or diabetes. The fact is, there might be some truth in some of those things, but none of that really matters compared to simply eating a whole foods diet. Okay, with a balance of nutrients. Focusing on nutrient density is the most important thing. Okay, and in fact, there's been studies done on the longest living people in the world, okay, and the main commonality that people have, okay, yes, telomeres is one thing. There's also correlation with how long the parents, or how young the parents were when they had the child. They found that on average most centenarians, especially super centenarians, their parents were under the age of 25. But antioxidant status, okay, glutathione, god damn it, you know what I'm talking about, glutathione, and vitamin E, okay. These two blood markers, these two antioxidants, were high in all centenarians. Okay, well, this is according to some of the most compelling mechanistic research. Okay, this is a far more powerful consideration to make than, go vegan like the Okinawans. The Okinawans were not vegan. They were only vegan during a post-war famine, because they had to. Oh, well, you need to restrict calories. The Okinawans did that, and they lived long. Look, they were primarily plant-based, and they were restricting calories because they had to for like 10 years because of different wars that were going on during that time, including the Okinawan War. And I know lots and lots of people that were stationed in Okinawa who noticed that they didn't just eat plant-based foods even during the famine. Okay, and I know Okinawans that live there and have family there for generations, and they back up what I'm saying too. Okay, the fact is, these people and all people in all of these blue zones, okay, they do eat animal products. Maybe not as much as the statistics show for modernized other populations like America, but they eat whole foods. and they avoid processed foods. But of course, these days, all areas of the world are eating more processed foods. Every single year, more and more processed foods are being eaten, and less whole foods are being eaten, and more people are, and less and less people are being healthy because of this. Okay. The key is balance. The key is eating a variety of antioxidants. The key is minimizing oxidative damage. And I've said this all the time, minimize damage and maximize nutrition and benefit, okay? But what I'm seeing from the data is that antioxidant status matters the most, okay? Because a lot of these centenarians, they'll drink alcohol, they'll smoke cigarettes, and some of them eat ice cream and processed foods, a lot of them. Some of them are on medications, but most of them are not. Most of them have never suffered from a major chronic illness. Does that mean that smoking cigarettes is okay? No, not necessarily. We know that cigarettes and processed foods and these things cause oxidative damage. The key, though, is what actually protects the body from oxidative damage. It's antioxidants. It's the quality and quantity of nutrients. Okay, antioxidants, they neutralize the damage done by the cigarettes and things. So the people who live a very long time while smoking cigarettes, something that they were doing, something about their life, allowed for higher levels of glutathione, antioxidants, and vitamin E. So we know that antioxidants protect against smoking cigarettes. Does that mean that smoking cigarettes is okay? No. But what that does mean is the less of these oxidation-inducing foods and activities that you participate in your life, and the more antioxidants you consume, the healthier you'll be and the longer you'll live. Now, if you just eat antioxidants like a vegan diet or a fruitarian diet, maybe you'll live a long time because of all the antioxidants. But the fact is, malnourishment is a very real thing. And I was vegan for a year, and I understand there's a lot of misconceptions about veganism, and just because you're vegan does not mean you'll become malnourished. I know all this. But there are things that you can only get in animal foods that you cannot get in plant foods. Things that mainstream health does not consider. Things that vegans do not want to believe matter. Okay? And you can clearly see mental issues and even physical issues, mental and physical degeneration over time, over a long period of time, when people remove animal foods from their diet completely. Okay? And then you see people who go on these completely animal-based diets, and we don't even know the long-term effects of these things. We do know about cholesterol, and it raises cholesterol, but you need to find a middle ground, is what I'm saying. You want whole foods, you want a lot of antioxidants, mainly from fruits and vegetables. Maybe some grains, some whole grains, primarily things like quinoa, things like lentils and beans, nuts and seeds. If you can tolerate these grains, then you can do that. But if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have Crohn's disease, if you have digestive problems, removing grains is going to give you far more benefit than harm. Okay, you're going to be removing more harm if you remove those grains. Removing grains for people with severe digestive problems is going to do them better than any kind of benefit those might give. Okay, for people with digestive problems, you want to remove grains, you want to remove nuts and seeds, beans, and you want to focus more on getting antioxidants from greens, from juicing greens of the spinach, from juicing these things, mainly vegetables, don't juice fruits, and eating a lot of whole greens and whole fruits and vegetables, okay? And then consuming high quality animal products in moderation, primarily for the building blocks of the body, okay? Especially if you're not eating grains. If you're not eating grains, you're going to need some animal protein, okay? If you're getting all your calories from fruit, good luck filling your best. It's coming from somebody who was a fruitarian for a short period of time, for like two months. All right. Most people don't need cleansing. Okay, if you remove junk from your diet, and when I say junk, I mean processed foods. If you remove all the artificial salts, you remove the sugar, the isolated sugar, the man-made fats like the hydrogenated oils, the vegetable oils, and eat a moderate amount of healthy fats, especially if they're from whole foods, avocados and olives. Your body's going to be clean enough. It's going to feel like you've detoxed. The main reason why people feel so great when they switch to veganism from a standard diet is because they remove the junk from the standard diet. But people who eat a bunch of vegan junk, they don't feel any healthier. These are the overweight vegans that give veganism a bad name. Okay, a bad name. If you eat Beyond Meat and you eat these fake meats and things, well, for one, I haven't researched this, but I've heard that Tyson meat products actually are the ones who created Beyond Meat. So you're supporting Tyson Farms, which I've heard a lot of bad things about how they treat their animals. And for two, you're eating junk. You don't want to be eating this processed garbage no matter what diet you're eating. Okay, no matter what diet you do, as long as you're removing processed artificial junk, you're going to be much healthier and feel much better than everyone. You can include meat in your diet and still feel great. As a matter of fact, you'll feel much better if you include a moderate amount of animal products in your diet than if you don't include any at all. Something like a Mediterranean diet for the average person should be fine as long as people don't overconsume wheat and overconsume grains. Moderation is very key in all food groups. But maximizing your antioxidant capacity and consuming the right types of food for you. Some people really are going to do better on more animal products. Who knows about longevity as far as animal products? And I would say it's not going to have as much of an effect as a lot of vegan propaganda wants you to think. Who knows about the long term? Short term, I can tell you for sure, most people will feel very good if they include some animal products. Some people will feel their best if they include enough animal products in their diet, more than other people. Some people will feel better on more fat and less carbs. Some people will need more carbs, but you've got to honestly try these different things for a long time, for at least 2 months at a time, to really know what works best for you. The problem with saying, oh, just eat what works best for you, is that a lot of people, they are addicted to junk food, and they think, oh, if I feel good eating something, then that must mean I need it. So if I eat chocolate, milk chocolate every day, if I eat the Snickers bar, and I feel good, and I crave it, so my body must need it, right? I do what's best for me, so junk food is best for me. Like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. That's addiction. But when you remove all the artificial junk, especially the sugar and all these artificial flavorings and things, your hunger hormones regulate and you start to only crave the foods that your body naturally needs. This is actually a very amazing phenomenon. You'll know if you need a little bit more saturated fat. You'll know if you need a little bit more carbohydrate or some more fruit or some minerals. Your body will tell yourself what it needs. But you want to use common sense, and I really don't feel like you can put a lot of faith in mainstream health advice. But it's important to not go too far outside of the general consensus, because the general consensus is a general consensus for a reason. And going too extreme outside the general consensus a lot of times will backfire, and you won't know it until you've done it for long enough. And by that time it might be too late. So most people who live a long time, most people who are the healthiest, they do special things that keep them healthy, but they also do some very basic principles that everybody knows, but most people just don't do it. And those basic principles is balance, it's moderation, and it's sticking to whole foods, okay? Everything else, the special little sauce, doesn't matter as much as the basics. If you sleep good, if you minimize stress, if you practice appreciation in all aspects of your life, and you make moderate, sensible decisions on your health, you exercise regularly, and if you stay away from pharmaceuticals, then you should be healthy for your entire life. So leave your questions and comments down below. Let me know what you think, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. I'd love to hear your comments though. What do you guys think is the most important thing for a healthy diet? You think it's veganism? You think it's a carnivore diet? You think it's balance? Let me know.